pitching staff today, picking up a lot of big outs in a couple of different jams.
Yeah, I mean, it's more, I don't want to say expect them to be perfect every time, but they were really good. We threw 3 future big leaguers, in my opinion, at those guys, and they did a great job. I mean, they kept the game where it was. Now, part of that is their pitching did well, too. They made some defensive plays. Our guys did hit a few balls hard. We didn't get an outcome that we wanted, but I think now that I have a little time to decompress and think about the game, I think the fans over here got their money's worth because of how good our pitching was, but our pitching was tested to the max. I think to the point where we did run out of baseballs for the game-used baseballs because of how competitive the at-bats were on both sides.
What makes Dylan such a good bridge guy?
We're just glad he's back in the mix. We were kind of being overly cautious with him because of that. Now he's in the mix. There's no holding him back or anything like that. He got ready real fast. He always competes the same way. He's got a lot of different strengths. And now, like Snead, Marcus, some of these other guys, he can say, I've got a lot of experience, based on what he did last year.
Tony, you certainly saw Liam last year at Ole Miss just from afar, but what are you just seeing differently from him this year versus maybe what you saw in person or on the field previously?
Yeah, he's more enjoyable to be around when he's wearing your uniform. But I saw the super intense when we saw him out of Coastal Carolina and then faced him up close. He had it on for us. He wanted to stick it on us last year. You can see that intensity. What you don't see is away from the action, he's as relaxed and fun-loving as a guy as you'd want. And you wish you could kind of sprinkle that formula on all your players, that there is a delicate balance between competing but also being able to relax. We're in Houston. Roger Clemens, from what I hear, he could be in Ray Lewis middle linebacker mode all day long, but most of these kids are not capable of that. So Liam got a good fun balance that works for him, but that word fun, he makes it really fun to be around him. And then, of course, when he's competing, he's as good as it gets as far as sitting in the dugout and having that guy throwing the ball for you.
Coach, you've had a lot of transfers, a lot of freshmen, started 8-0. What's been able to make this group mesh so quickly?
I don't know, because last year made sense. We had a group that was around each other for a long time, and then Billy Amick it was like he was already one of the guys, and guys like Blake Burke took him in real quick, so it was kind of by osmosis. This is different. You almost have 3 different baskets. The returning guys, Ensley, Snead, etc. We don't usually do that much JUCO portal. We haven't gone crazy with it, but there is a bigger group with that, kind of the older guys, and then the freshmen, as you mentioned. It's one of our first classes where we were able to really have the success we wanted recruiting. And you got those 3 baskets, and they've been low maintenance. So it's up to them to realize that it's pretty good right now, but it's going to need to get better as the season goes on. But for now, they've kind of done it. We haven't done any trust fall or anything like that. I think it's just a bunch of guys that have a similar goal, and they all seem to be respecting the fact that, hey, the guy that I might come out of the game for, or the guy that I'm getting the nod over, has got a lot of talent too, so I need to respect that.
Tony, do you expect that Gavin had the chance to add this much power to his game after the hit tool he already had?
Yeah, I think in watching him on video and then when he was up close and personal BP, I wouldn't call it power because, I mentioned Burke earlier. Sometimes he would get that big O swing and it was long and loose and the ball would get launched. I think Gavin's is a real fundamental swing that's been trained in the cage. So he's in a good position to strike the ball as well as he can. And he's strong enough, but again, I think it's more it's precision over power if you want. Again, I'm not calling the guy strong. He went to the right side and the left side today. But for me, he's got the ability to drive the ball, call that power if you want. But I think it's coming from just a really fundamental swing. And then a kid that likes to compete too. He's got a different edge to him than maybe some of the other guys we've had the last few years. It's his own unique brand. But make no bones about it. He's got an edge to him. And something about Wisconsin, man, those kids are tough.
Coach, speaking of your freshman, Manny Marin, first home run here, got a double. To do it in this environment, what did he show you today?
We already knew he likes this environment, and the other coaches, know him even better than I do, tip you off. He wants this, and I think that's one of his strengths. He'd rather, call it the lights be brighter, or a bigger stage, or the competition again. That was a pretty dang good effort by Oklahoma State to not get a win today. So I think he likes that stuff. And so that's a strength, and it's up to him, because he is young, to figure out how to utilize that strength as best as possible. But he also has got, a high level of skill we were very fortunate to have him and some other guys, and some didn't even get in the game today, to make it to campus. That was a battle. We were not winning our first 3 or 4 years here for guys to say no to the draft. And Blade Tidwell was kind of the first, and then Beck and Gilbert were after, and now we've been fortunate enough that guys like Manny have come here first.
What did you see from Nate in his first save opportunity, true save opportunity of the
That,
season?
you know, he's got a lot of fire to him, so I think it's important to not let that fire burn too bright. And sometimes when you're coming out for one inning, maybe you could get out of control, or you could think of other negative ways. But I mean, he was on point. He got 4 outs, and you know, again, I'm not a scout, but if I'm sitting back there, he did it in impressive fashion, or you know, track man, whatever the heck. I mean, his stuff was really good, but the usage or execution of the stuff was great. And then when you're pitching late in those innings, if you don't get a call, because again, he's got a fiery temper, and earlier in his 8 stages with us, something kind of went off the rails a little bit. Sometimes it would take him a few pitches to get back on, and we don't make a play behind him, no big deal. He got right back to work. Yeah.